Hello everyone, my name is Miko and I am with the Libra Luna Center here to kind of talk a little bit about relationships and how this Venus retrograde may be affecting us. Um, I just wanted to touch base because I feel that there are a lot of people that are struggling right now. Um, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of heartbreaks. But what's interesting about this Venus retrograde, right? She's halfway done, and she has been teaching us so much about our own individual selves. And that's the whole point, right? Going inward, re everything, re-evaluating, rethinking, re-estimating. I don't know what word you want to use, but we are reformulating basically our own inner core values of ourselves and how we are in relationship to ourselves and how that projects out into our relationships with others. Like, this is the most intense lesson there. You know, I find that it is intense now just because of the key players that are in the planet, in the planet, in the skies as this is happening simultaneously with this Venus retrograde. This is kind of like enhancing it, you know. Venus retrogrades 40 days, 40 nights. She went in retrograde, I think it was March 4th, in the sign of Aries, and she's halfway done, but she's getting ready to go into Pisces, right? And she'll be there until April 15th. So there's still a lot more stuff that we got to go through. And um, like I said, I really believe that it's all about digging deep within, and digging deep within the aspects of our subconsciousness, within the aspects of our subconsciousness, because I feel personally that a lot of our issues that are coming out right now in our relationships are coming from the depths of our subconscious minds. A lot of our wounds, Chiron, right? A lot of our wounds are coming up to surface. Wounds that we thought that we've dealt with, we're no more, right? That had we thought were obliterated, I guess. I don't know. But energy can't be obliterated. Energy can't be destroyed. Energy can only be transmuted, transformed, right? Einstein taught us that. So, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are we doing with one another? Are we loving each other? Are we having compassion for one another as we witness what's unfolding in our relationships with other people and the relationship with ourselves? Are we? I really hope so, because this is not an easy transit, and it's not designed to be, because this is all about implementing the energy of the Phoenix rising, right? Pluto is in the sign of Capricorn, and he is basically renovating all the structures that we have built around our globe, and the structures that we have built in our head about what relationships, right? Jupiter, Libra, that's who he's having a conversation with. All of that is being restructured because why? It's not working anymore. Okay, Jupiter in Libra tells us that justice is going to be served. I feel bad for people that are like just marinating in negative energies right now, because once Jupiter goes direct, we're going to feel the wrath of that karma. You guys really want to be careful with the energies that you're harnessing right now. You really want to kind of be in that state of love and compassion. As you're witnessing your people going through stuff, because they are, and you are too. So do your own work. Don't worry about what they're going through. Worry about you. Okay? Nobody is going to be able to shove anything nobody is going to continue to be able to shove this stuff under the rug. This is not the times that we're in. Everything is surfacing out of the subconsciousness of our collective consciousness. Okay? So nothing's really hidden. And as long as you're being authentic and genuine, then there really shouldn't be anything to be fearful of in regards to that. Because, you know, it's all about love, man. And it doesn't even matter. It just doesn't even matter. But if it's not authentic love, then it's going to matter, because it's not going to be good, especially once Jupiter goes direct. So I was bringing up this Venus retrograde is having a conversation with Saturn. It's having a conversation with Saturn. Saturn is the teacher, he's the grand teacher, he's our big daddy in the sky. He's teaching us that we need to take responsibility. We need to take responsibility for those things that we love within ourselves, the things that we desire, you know, taking responsibility for our own divinity, you know, especially as Venus is going back into Pisces. I mean, you got to get to that. You got to get to that core root of what it is. You got to go deep, and going deep means dealing with your shadows. Shadow work, right? Carl Jung. Shadow work. What is shadow? Let me see. I think I have a definition of what. Let me see. Hold on a second. What the shadow is, because I think a lot of people think that the shadow is like some evil entity within yourself, but it's not. It's just a part of the collective, you know. It's not something that you want to say doesn't exist within you, because it does, and they usually come out and play out in your relationships. Why? Why do they come out and play out in your relationships? Well, because this whole experience is like a holograph, okay? We're all reflections of one another. This whole experience is like a mirror. And whoever it is you're attracting into your experience is just a reflection of you. The parts of your subconscious mind is hidden from you. So that's kind of what they would articulate as the shadow, right? The parts of yourself that you don't even know, or that you forgot, that have been hidden. And the most fundamental relationships that you have come into, right? The most important ones that kind of shaped your whole view, your whole perception in the world, comes from those people that you were born into, like the people that shaped your reality for you, that shaped what the archetype of a female and a male is. That would be your mother and your father. So whatever your relationship with them was like, if there's issues in there and behind that, around that, in it, whatever, then they're coming up right now. They're coming up right now. And it's deep. It's intense, because a lot of people that have been doing the work, right, that have been doing the work, that are conscious beings, probably feel like, man, this is something I've already dealt with. Why is this even coming up right now again, right? And then there's those that continuously love to resist and shove things under the rug, and those people are having the most difficult time. The more you resist, the more it persists, and you will experience chaos, especially when Jupiter goes direct. I really want to advise you, if you're living unauthentically, that you get right, because Jupiter in Libra is all about justice, and justice will be served. And I don't say that to bring forth fear, but to help you understand that you want to be real, you want to be genuine, authentic, transparent. Even there's nothing to fear in that, because there's really nothing truly hidden. You know, you can't hide from the ethers. There's no secrets that are hidden. Everything is coming out. Everything. And there's nothing really wrong with that, you know? It's only people's judgments. It's only people's judgments that think something is wrong about whatever you're going through, because everybody has their own darkness. Everybody has their own shadows. And for somebody else to judge your shadow, I mean, shame on them. Shame on them. You know, that's on them. But listen, Venus retrograde is about going within, doing the work so that you can come out a new being, a new person, more happy. The whole thing is you want to be happy, right? Everybody kind of wants to live in this state of joy. And yeah, we have the ebbs and flow of life. We do. That's a part of this whole thing, this whole process, right? Ebbing and flowing, ebbing and flowing. We could be ebbing right now, and it's okay. But, you know, it's just part of the process. Planet Earth is just like one giant university, and we are here to learn. You don't need to beat yourself up about making any types of mistakes if you feel like, you know, you maybe gave your heart to somebody that was undeserving. But you mean, that just kind of is basically kind of trying to realign you with your own core, value, you know? So just kind of, you know, be okay with that. You're just going to want to recognize that no matter what, everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to be okay. We need to deal with our wounds. If you have wounds in the with the people in the relationships that you were in the beginning, right? As a child, then you want to deal with it. You want to purge it out. You want to acknowledge it. You want to integrate it. Okay? You can't stuff it. You can't stuff it. That's one of the things about coming to consciousness, right? This is the whole point, is awakening to the discovery of yourself, discovering who you are, because you're so multi-dimensional, you're so multi-level deep, and taking responsibility, taking personal responsibility for all of those aspects of yourself. And if there is something there, regarding the relationships about your mother or father, where they shaped the experience for you, then own it. So, to give you an example, if you grew up in a household where the mother and the father's relationship was like a business deal, or they were just like, say, super spiritual, there was no love, but it was like they were together by ordained spiritual connection, and they're supposed to be together or something. I mean, somebody set that rule for them. Who knows? But I mean, this is what you grew up looking at. But you saw no kind of chemistry between them. There was no love. There was no affection. You're going to look at that as if, I mean, that's going to be imprinted. If you've seen that as you were growing up, that's going to be imprinted in your cognition to the point where you think that this is what relationships are supposed to be like, right? Now, depending on who you are and how you perceive that and what you value and all of that stuff is going to determine how you project it out. So if you believe that this is how they are, the relationships, this is how they're supposed to be, then you will be in one just like that and be just as miserable as your parents were. Or you could be that person that's like, oh, that's how I saw them, and I don't believe in that. They were totally miserable, and you kind of like avoid it. You're so scared to the point where you don't even get close enough to somebody to be in a relationship because you fear that that's eventually going to be the outcome. You know, I mean, there's so many dynamics of how it can play out, but it's just like, you just kind of want to see the pattern in your relationships and how all of that feeds back to the core people that you were born into, and how they set the foundation for every other relationship that you've ever endured. It's kind of creepy, but it's really a trip. Human behavior, it is not rocket science. If you're paying attention, it's not rocket science. Love is everything. And when a person grows up without it, there's no telling what they can do. And if a person has grown up with it, there's no telling what they can do. Right? That's the dichotomy. But the whole point, I feel, is that ultimately, at the end of the day, every human being wants to feel good. Nobody really likes feeling bad. And if you're feeling bad in your relationships and you're projecting it onto your partner, you gotta own it, because it's not your partner. It's always you. It's always you. It's always you. And if you are in a relationship where you can be open with one another to that point where you can have that dialogue with each other, there could be so much healing. There could be so much healing. Like, this whole thing is like about redefining relationships and doing it like we've never done it before. Ever. It's a conscious type of love. Let me see. I think I've seen that somewhere too. There's like these 3 different types of love. I don't know if I can find it. I thought I bookmarked it, but I don't see it. So there's these 3 different types of love, and a lot of us are kind of living in this state of sleep, so we're not really conscious of this, and I don't see it, but maybe it's in this book. But that's not it. Oh, here it is. 3 Kinds of Love. This is by Ivanovich Gurdjieff. Conscious Love. Okay, so this is coming from the book called Take Me to Truth. Very good book. Totally recommend it. And this one line is talking about the 3 different types of love he depicted. It says, there's a purely physical love as sexual attraction. That's the majority of the humans on the planet. And then there's emotional love, which often tends to transform itself into hate. Okay? So we've got this on our planet as well. Okay? We have a lot more purely physical love, but there are some people that are also into emotional love. I mean, there's people that have been married for years and they do have this connection. And then there's this they have that emotional connection, I'm sorry. But then there's this conscious love. And conscious love leads to the perfection of both partners. And what makes it so different, conscious love, is because you're coming into it with an awareness, right? You're coming into it with an awareness of everything. So I think it makes it completely different because you're more disciplined. You're not just reacting in a conscious relationship. You're responding. You're paying attention. You're listening. You're evaluating. You're not accusatory. Yeah, and he basically says that conscious love is actually the most powerful love because it's eternal. It's not superficial, and neither is it temporary. It emerges from the commitment to experiencing and sharing love for the highest good of all involved. And so it's not selfish. And so this is where we're having to kind of really be conscious of in these relationships, where if we're giving more than we are receiving, then that's not right. That's not good. I mean, justice, Libra and Jupiter, that's not right. It's not going to be okay. And when Jupiter goes direct, my gosh, you guys, I'm telling you, you're going to feel the karma. So you just want to get right. You just want to get right. You want to get right for you, because you have this birthright to live in harmony with yourself. That's your birthright. You don't have to feel guilty about anything. So if you grew up with, issues from your parents, then just kind of face them. Do the shadow work, and move through it. Just move through it. And understand that whatever is being reflected back to you in your relationships right now, it doesn't have anything to do with you per se, with that other individual, and just has everything to do with how you're reacting to it. So you just want to kind of get right with that and own it. Okay? If you need to make amends with those people that may have wronged you, then do it. You don't have to do it you don't have to do it physically. You could do it in the fifth dimension, but just put forth effort. You got to put forth the effort. And just be true to you. Be true to your heart. Your heart has its own mind. It has its own language, and you should be in harmony with its language. So whatever is surfacing in your reality right now, if you're being forced to let go of something, let it go. Let it go. If it's meant to come back, it'll be there. It'll be there. But if it's not, it's because that person is not on your vibrational frequency. It's because that person is not on that same level as you. And you don't want that. You want somebody that you can work with, grow with, build something with. That's what this is about. Our time is very limited here. People are lollygagging around like they got all the time on the planet. Like death isn't something that's going to happen to them. I mean, that's something from the subconscious mind as well, because I mean, the reality is that there is no death, right? So I mean, that plays out, but at the same time, I mean, you don't just want to be sitting around. You don't want to be sitting around involved in relationships that have absolutely nothing to do with your fundamental growth experience on the planet. Nothing at all that's going to contribute to it. You want to let that shit go. That's wasting your time. So pray for those people that you love. Pray for them, because they need it right now. A lot of the soul workers are calling this time, this moment with this Venus retrograde, the dark night of the soul, and the masculine energies are going through it right now. So, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it with you know, the person that has my heart right now. So you're not alone in this experience. We're all going through it. We're all going through the exact same experience, but it's happening in different ways, infinitely different ways, because this is an infinite experience. But we're one collective organism on this planet, and we are all part of this galaxy. We're not separate from it. And there are energies that are circulating around us that has a very powerful influence in everything that's kind of being played out, because it's played out outwardly and inwardly, as we are a part of this oneness, this intercellular theme here, you know. There is no separation here. So be real with you. Be real with who you are. Be true to your heart. Don't take stuff at face value. Always dig deeper. Always dig deep. This is not the time to be superficial about anything. If it ain't raw and it ain't real, then it ain't worth your time. Because you're here. You have a purpose. Everyone does. And you want to get into alignment with what that is. And you want to be with a person that is on that same page, that same frequency, okay? So, I don't know if I said everything that I wanted to say, but I'm just letting you know that, you know, shadow work is important. This is my notes here. Shadow work is about meeting the part of ourselves that we fear and hate. You want to meet that person that you fear and hate, and you want to give it love, because you're not here to be fearful of the parts of yourself at all. None of the parts of yourself. You're not here to be disassociating yourself with those parts of yourself, because I mean, they're all a part of you. Okay? It's called shadow work because it's those aspects that are hidden from ourselves. It's the subconscious mind, that's the stuff that's hidden from ourselves. And these aspects cannot, I mean, they can't be obliterated. They cannot be obliterated. You can try to project it, you can try to deny it, you can try to ignore it, but the more you repress it, the more it leads your life. It leads your life for you. And you're not living consciously, you see. So understand that the things that you are seeking in relationships, in the relationships that you are in, the things that you are seeking as far as like approval, validation, acknowledgement, support, affection, kindness, compassion, respect, understanding, admiration, forgiveness, even passion and companionship, right? That closeness and devotion. These themes are all themes that you are capable of applying and giving to yourself. And you want to be with somebody that has the ability to do these things for themselves as well, so that when you do come together, that you are filling each other's lives up with so much. It's overflow, right? That should be the goal there. I think that's my goal anyways. I don't know, I'm just sharing. I'm just sharing. So as we are awakening to our new selves, I send lots of blessings, lots of healing energies to those that are in suffering with hearts broken. Just know that this too shall pass. Once Venus comes out of this retrograde phase, out of the shadow, there's going to be still some little work that we got to deal with, as far as, because, you know, Mercury will be retrograde and Saturn will be retrograde, all the planets will be retrograde. So we're going to be still dealing with some stuff, but ultimately, it's all about, you know, really letting go of a lot of stuff within ourselves that we've been holding on to, that we don't really need any longer. And it's not a part of who we are anymore, even though it still lingers with us, you know? So bring it to light, bring it out of the shadow, bring it to light, so that it can transcend in something much more greater. I hope that this message has served you in some way. Please feel free to leave a comment. Ask me any questions. I would love to connect with you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. It's a new channel for us. Talk to you soon. Namaste.